Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. This is a reaction to World Cup or Super Bowl, what's bigger, by Tifo Football. This is a channel that I watch a lot. I mean, on my own time, this channel posts a lot of really good content in my opinion, but the World Cup or Super Bowl, what's bigger? I think this is a bit of an unfair comparison because it's literally the World Cup and then the Super Bowl. I would say the Champions League or something like that would be better, but to get into the mood, the spirit of the World Cup, which starts, bro, it starts in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, no, I think like 3 weeks. Start, because I mean, 20th of November. Okay, it's 3.5 weeks. Oh mate, I can't believe. Firstly, it's in winter, which is the first time it's ever happened. It's gonna be so weird to even experience that. Secondly, we're smoking the US, which is gonna be good. Let's get the comments started. And I actually don't think we will. I think we were shit, to be honest. But I've swore in the first minute, this video is getting demonetized. I don't think we're going to smoke many teams this year, to be honest. I think we're quite average. But I like to get the comments starting, so let's just keep it like that. We're going to smoke every country that we face. We're going to win the World Cup, and it's coming home. I'm just talking on my ass. But I guess this channel, what it usually does, it goes into like sort of stats and certain figures. And I don't really look at this stuff, so it'll be cool to just see both sides of it. And again, I know this comparison's a bit unfair because even though the Super Bowl is huge, the World Cup, it's literally in the name, it's the World Cup. So it's probably going to be a lot higher. But maybe in future they'll do a comparison to some more even sort of things. But let's jump into this. Let's see what the actual numbers are and see what details they go into here. And yeah, it's a bit of a different reaction, but you know, the spirit of the World Cup, just a reaction that I wanted to do. I'm trying to just do random content on this channel, to be honest, like reacting to all these different types of things. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's jump into this video.
The Super Bowl can feel like the centre of the sporting universe. Between the weeks-long build-up, the flash bulbs which light up the stadium while the opening kickoff hangs in the air, and the world-famous recording artist who plays to an audience of millions at half-time, the event has an aura of unquantifiable size. But just how does it compare?
I mean, it's different because it isn't just a sporting, like the World Cup is a sporting event. They do try and have these sorts of shows for the opening ceremony and I think for the final, but it just doesn't compare. It should be able to compare. They should have like these huge things, like, you know, the Olympics, the shows that they have for that. It should be like that, but the shows for like these footballing events are never as good. Although I guess this year's might be different because Qatar are trying to portray that they're just this sort of country, and they might be trying to just prove people wrong. And some people are so fickle, they'll be like, their minds will be decided on the show or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. But in terms of the actual show, there's no comparison. But hopefully this year it can change a little bit. I don't know.
With the World Cup. Well, in America, it's enormous. Super Bowl 56, which saw the Los Angeles Rams defeat the Cincinnati Bengals, was relatively unremarkable in viewership terms. And yet, across the various broadcasting platforms, the game totaled a viewership in excess of 112 million.
112 million? I mean, that's 50% of the population. In terms of the viewing figures for the country, that's wild.
That represented a rise on the previous year, but it was still significantly short of the 172 million viewers attracted by Super Bowl 51.
Wait, why did this have so many more viewers? 172 million? What?
In which the New England Patriots enacted a stunning comeback against the Atlanta Falcons.
Okay.
But 2022
Makes
still
sense.
described the event's penetration. According to Nielsen data published by NFL.com, 90% of all people using a television in the United States during the event on February the 13th, 2022 were watching Super Bowl 56.
90%? Okay, that's crazy. When you consider the actual numbers and the percentages, that is insanity. Like, in terms of British people, English people watching the World Cup, watching England, that would be, I don't know if it'd be 90%. I mean, a lot of people will be in pubs. Say we're in the World Cup final. 90%, I don't know about that. Maybe, but that's crazy. Like, literally 9 out of 10 people watching, just being on at home watching their TVs. Actually, maybe it would be. I don't know. Maybe it would be. I don't know, because it's a lot harder because this is a lot more people, so it's even crazier. But 90% is high. Very
so while
high.
it has its ups and downs, the Super Bowl dominates its market. By adjusting its estimates to include different sized viewing parties, Nielsen calculated that roughly 208 million people watched the most recent Super Bowl. a
Flipping
figure
hell.
roughly 2/3 the size of the United States population. But while that describes its
Jeez.
local presence and doesn't incorporate the between 30 to 50 million viewers who watched from outside the US, expressing that view
To be fair though, 30 to 50 million people outside isn't actually like, it's obviously not as high as maybe people would expect, but it's, I mean, I'd say maybe 1 or 2 million are from the UK, and then there's like 70 million people in the UK, 68 million people. That's what, like 2%. It's not that high, but it's a lot higher than I probably would have. I guess maybe I'd assumed 3-4 years ago before I really like looked into this sort of stuff. Where's the biggest like fan base of the NFL outside the US? Maybe probably like Canada, but that's also like got some teams as well. Nah, probably like Mexico. I guess the closest by countries are the Caribbean or something.
viewership as a percentage of the global population of 8 billion provides important context, and also shows that the World Cup is on an entirely different scale.
Yeah.
In 2018, 3.6 billion people watched the tournament. Across the 64 games played in Russia, the average per-match television audience was 194 million. Essentially, on a viewership basis alone, that equates to 64 Super Bowls within a month. According to
Oh
FIFA's
my
estimates,
days.
the total audience across all games and ceremonies in 2022 is expected to rise significantly and exceed 5 billion. That would be
This is what I mean. This isn't a fair comparison. Like I'm saying, the Champions League comparisons would be a lot. I still think the Champions League would have more because just globally it's probably more popular, but it would be a fair, because this is like comparing. I mean, I don't even know if this would be fair to compare the World Cup to the Olympics. I don't know what viewing figures that gets, but maybe it would be. I don't know. I don't watch the Olympics, to be honest. So I wouldn't actually know. Other than the 100-meter sprint, that's all I actually care about.
greater than the 3.6 billion who watched the 2012 Olympic Games in London,
There
or
we
the
go.
3.2 who tuned in to watch the Rio Games 4 years later. But the final itself has a staggeringly high audience, and as a single one-off game is really the only direct comparison with the Super Bowl. In 2010, 909.6 million people worldwide watched Spain beat the Netherlands, an audience more than 14 times the size of the two countries' collective population.
My first
In
World Cup,
2014,
man.
that
I
figure
remember.
rose again, with 1.01 billion viewers tuning in to see Germany defeat Argentina after extra time.
One game.
And that number grew further in 2018, with 1.1 billion people across the world seeing France defeat Croatia in Russia.
God
It's an
damn.
upward trend which captures the growth of the event, but also the tournament's truly global nature and the final's imperviousness to the identity or size of the countries taking part. In that regard, it's a spectacle and an event without comparison. If you like this video,
It's a short one. It was a short video, but I guess I clicked it. It's my fault. Oh, the comments are going to be absolute AIDS. Oh, no. Seems rude to compare a literal international event to an event where literally no one watches. God damn, bro. I knew the comments were going to be brutal. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think a better comparison would be the Champions League, because the World Cup it's literally, it's the World Cup. I mean, the World Cup's just different to anything. But I mean, what sort of, I want to see this, the Cricket World Cup viewing figures. This isn't really showing me what I want to see. How many people watch the Rugby World Cup? Imagine the Rugby World Cup just popped up. It just shows it would be listening to me. World Cup, because I don't watch this stuff, even though England are quite good. What? The Rugby World Cup attracted a total of 857 million viewers. Oh, throughout the whole World Cup, though, I assume. I'm guessing. I mean, that's still pretty crazy, though. England Rugby World Cup's World Cup final defeat was the most watched British TV event of the year and peaked at an audience of 12.8 million. And this was for rugby. I didn't watch this. I just couldn't care less, to be honest. But England versus who did we play? Versus Italy. Let's see how that compares to that viewing. Compares to the World Cup. I want to see how it like the UK sort of views it. To be fair, 12.8 million is actually it's really obviously good. Because you look at this, 31 million and a further 11 million. I don't know what that says. No one cares about this. Watched event in the UK history with 42 million viewers. So on streams as well. Okay, so compared, it's still a lot more, but I don't know. The Rugby World Cup was a lot bigger than I realised. I don't watch it, but fair enough. Anyways, I'm talking like my ass. No one cares. Hopefully you enjoy this reaction. Let's get excited for when England beat the US in the World Cup. Fingers crossed. But yeah, until next time, like, subscribe, and peace.